What's going on, y'all? Taking a break from being out here and doing all the different things. Thought I'd talk to y'all for just a second. There's a lot coming this fall that a lot of people don't realize. They're, well, everybody right now is worried about the gas, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't know where it's at where you are, but here it's kind of jumped up a little bit more, and then past week or so it's went down a little bit, but it's still up there near $5 a gallon. So, and of course, it's going to continue to keep going up. But even though a lot of people are talking about how the shelves look different, how they're making areas smaller or pulling things to the front to make it look like there's more than what there really is, the prices have only went up just a little bit. Now, come this fall, that's when you're really going to see the prices go up. And that's because everything the farmers are dealing with right now, the same prices when it comes to fuel or everything else, what they feed the animals, you know, all the inputs that come into producing food, you're not actually going to see that until this fall because then the price is going to go up on everything. Because this whole time their prices had to go up, so of course they're going to have to try to charge more just to stay afloat. And that's not on the farmers, that's usually on either who they work for, the government, or the people selling the stuff. Because most farmers I know, they make enough to get by, but it's more on kind of a credit situation than what they really have. Anybody that has a large farm, anyway. So there's a lot that they deal with on a regular basis. So farmers don't get credit like they really should. There was that saying of that, well, how often do you need a lawyer? How often do you need a banker, a doctor? But at the same time, you eat every single day. And unless you're producing that food yourself, it's coming from somewhere. Somebody had to grow it, whether it be animal of some kind or some kind of vegetables or fruits or anything. Somebody had to do it. And you do that every single day. But all those prices are going to eventually hit the shelves. And then you're going to have that too. And of course, that's going to be right there in the fall when everything else is going to be starting to go crazy because of, well, all the other obvious things that are going on. So I want to put it out there to y'all. Are you doing the things? Are you trying to produce any kind of food? You may not be able to do a whole lot, but a little bit is still going to soften up that hit that you're going to take. It's still going to make things, hopefully, a little easier on you. It's definitely going to do something compared to if you're doing absolutely nothing at all. Got traffic coming by out here. I'm out here on the front porch, so. But what are you doing to help your family out in some way? What 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 could you be doing more? You know, I don't have a very big garden out here yet, and I'm working on that. We just moved here, and I've been trying to put all the infrastructure in, take care of fixing this place, and just a lot of different things going on all at once, and not enough hours in the day. But I really want to put it out there to everybody to think about what they can be doing. What little bit more could you do each day to try to be ready for what's coming? Because, see, a lot of people call it, being a prepper or being prepared or something like that nowadays. Used to in my grandparents' day, it was just common sense. You grew food in the spring and the summer, and you put it back for the winter. because you weren't going to have as much. You know, my grandpa used to tell me flat out, winter and tornado season comes every year. You best be ready for it. And it's the truth. You know, depending on where you're at, you have to deal with all kinds of different weather situations. You know, areas that deal with drought, areas that deal with way too much rain, along the coast, you know, dealing with all the different kinds of storms they get to deal with down there. You know, I mean, having stuff put back and having stuff ready, even though some people may look at you a little funny, it's going to be, well, like many other channels out there have already said. Um, Asymmetrical preparedness is one that says that quite a bit. If you haven't checked them out, go check them out. It's a great dude. But being prepared is living insurance. You've got car insurance, you've got homeowners insurance, you've got all these different things to try to make sure in case something happens. Having food put back is the same thing. And it doesn't have to be the end of the world, you know, big bang kind of situation or anything like that. Somebody could lose a job. Somebody could break a leg and be out of work for a little bit. And that will give you that little cushion that you need to make sure you stay on top of things. So try to be a little more ready. You know, I mean, there's a whole lot of different aspects to it, but just a little bit at a time. The old saying that there's only one way to eat an elephant, well, one bite at a time. Do it just that way. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't wear yourself out worrying about different things. Just do what you can do. One thing at a time. A little extra here, a little extra there. It does add up very quickly, actually. As long as you're doing something, you're going to be a whole lot better off than the ones that are doing nothing. And as other channels once again have said, I kind of feel a little selfish about that and my idea of wanting to get more people out there ready. Because the more of you all that are ready, the less people that I have to worry about because there's going to be more people ready. You know, I'm always one that wants to help others. I'm one that wants to share stuff and everything else. But am I going to put my kids in a situation where they don't get to eat because I'm trying to help somebody else? I'm not going to do that. My kids and stuff like that will come first. You know, how about y'all's family? How about your loved ones? You know, how many people have you talked to about the situation that's going on around us? Because a few years back, you know, everybody would have been looked at crazy if any one of us out there told ourselves, say even 5 years ago, how things are looking today and the things that have happened over the past few years. We look at ourselves and say we were crazy. But it's been proven to everybody around the world. Life helicopter flying by. I'm sure you heard it. But they're stationed right over here, so we get to hear them every so often, which both a good and a bad thing. Means somebody needs their help, but at the same time means they're going out there to help. So, but I mean, if the past couple years have proved anything to everyone, it's that we should all be a little bit more ready, have a little more tucked back, um, a little food, a little water, a little medical, a little. The way things are going right now, they're trying to keep from it, but a little security as well. Because while I definitely go ahead and back the police and everything like that, yes, I know there's ones out there that aren't so great, and there's actually some bad ones out there. But you're going to get that with every job. It's a matter of the person, not the job. There's a lot of very, very good people that go into that line of work wanting to help people. But in certain situations, when you need them right there, they're not going to be. No matter the situation that you're in, They can't be everywhere all the time. So you need to take control in that situation and protect yourself and your loved ones. And I know that's a very hot topic right now, especially with the recent vote they've had in the Senate, including one of our own, which I'm from Missouri, and Blunt was on the list of the ones that went ahead and crossed that aisle. Which I even reached out and contacted his office and everything else, and the person I spoke to flat out assured me that, well, he will not be running anymore. After, I guess while he's in office right now, he will not continue to do so. So he really don't care what anybody thinks. I still say everybody should go ahead and be getting in contact with all the representatives and stuff like that and let them know just how unhappy they are. But from what I've been hearing, most of the ones that went ahead and signed on to this thing are kind of in the same boat. They're not going to continue to run after this. So they really don't care. I'm sure they got their pockets lined and everything else, and they're out the door. So it just kind of shows you how slimy those politicians really are. And then it doesn't matter which side of the aisle they really sit on. They're all politicians. It's supposed to be people that work for the people, and that hasn't been the case in a very, very long time. They work for themselves. But I'm going to go ahead and get back to it. I just want to sit here for a few minutes and cool off a little bit, get some water, and talk to y'all and say, hey, try to be a little more ready. Get your stuff together. Work just a little bit every day. Set an hour aside to try to prepare food. I mean, that's even another thing that we will go into in videos on down the road here and stuff, because we're going to start doing recipe videos and different things as well. But we do some stuff to where I'll make food for the week. We'll go ahead and get a few things, get it together, freeze it. Then all you got to do when you come home or at the end of the day when nobody really feels like cooking, you've been out in the yard all day working on your garden or trying to get other things together. It's hot, you come in the house, you really don't want to stand over a stove for however long to cook food. So in that case, you pull one of those things out of the freezer, which you know is good because you put it together yourself. Now, I'm not necessarily knocking on anybody that gets the store-bought stuff. Don't get me wrong there. Hey, come down to it, food is food. Now, a lot of this store-bought stuff is a whole lot more processed than what you might be able to throw together. So, you've got all those things. But we'll talk about more on that on down the road. But you take a prepared meal, you go ahead and cook it, throw it in the oven, let it do its thing, throw it in a crock pot, something like that, let it do its thing for however long. You come back later, you get to feed everybody, and you were able to do something else, even if it was just relax for a few minutes after working very hard all day. But be a little more ready. Take a little more responsibility for yourself and those around you. Our society today has gotten so much better, but it's gotten a lot better at placing responsibility on other people, even for our own actions. You control what you do. You have a responsibility to not only yourself, but those around you for the actions that you take. And unfortunately, one way or the other, even if it's the last day, it will eventually bite you in the rear. But anyway, let's not get too deep into all that. But I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope somebody out there at least got a little benefit from this or lit a fire under their rear or something like that. And I appreciate y'all for watching the channel. And as always, friends, you stay humble out there, and we'll catch you around.